This happened late last summer, and I still don't have a clean explanation for any of it. A friend of mine, Derek, had just started working with a small promotions group that threw electronic music events around the East Coast. Nothing massive, but big enough to pull in decent crowds and occasionally some recognizable DJs. He'd been hyping this one show for weeks, said it was going to be their biggest yet, right outside of Atlantic City, some upscale beachside venue. Derek invited me and a couple of our mutual friends to come out early, hang backstage, drink for free, the usual perks. I wasn't going to say no. We drove down that afternoon, checked into a cheap motel about 15 minutes from the venue, and headed over before sunset. The place was already buzzing when we got there. Staff running around, sound checks, lights being tested. Derek was in full work mode, so he told us to just relax, grab drinks, and stay out of the way. That's exactly what we did. By the time the doors opened, we were already a few drinks in. A couple hours later, we were a lot more than that. I remember the night in flashes. Music shaking the floor, people packed shoulder to shoulder, lights cutting through the haze. At some point, me and my friend Tyler ended up talking to two girls near the bar. I don't remember how it started, just that it felt easy. Too easy, almost. They said their names were Nina and Leela. Both of them dressed way nicer than anyone else there, like they didn't really belong in that kind of crowd. But they were friendly, laughing at everything we said, keeping the drinks coming. And yeah, that part should have raised the red flag. At one point, Nina handed me a drink directly. I didn't see it get made. I didn't question it either. Same with Tyler. We stayed with them for a while after that, dancing, talking. I remember feeling good at first, then off. It's hard to describe exactly. Not like being drunk, it was heavier, like my body was lagging behind my brain. My arms felt slow, my legs didn't quite respond the way I expected them to. I tried to play it off, but I could tell Tyler was feeling it too. He kept blinking hard like he was trying to stay focused. That's when Leela suggested we leave. She said they had a place nearby, somewhere quieter where we could keep hanging out. Tyler didn't even hesitate. I barely did. The next part is where things start to break. I remember stepping out. The air felt colder than it should have. I remember walking, but I don't remember where. Sand under my shoes at one point, so we must have been near the beach. I remember Nina holding my arm, steadying me, but it didn't feel like she was helping me. It felt like she was guiding me. After that, nothing. Not a gradual fade, just gone. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on a hard surface with sunlight hitting my face. For a few seconds, I thought I was still dreaming. Everything felt wrong. My head was pounding, my mouth completely dry, and there was this deep, unsettling confusion that didn't go away when I tried to sit up. I was lying in the back seat of a car. Not my car, not anyone I knew. The door was half open, like I'd been pushed or had fallen out. The car itself was parked in what looked like an empty lot behind a strip mall. No people around, no other cars close by. I checked my pockets immediately. Phone gone, wallet gone, keys gone. Even worse, I wasn't wearing the same clothes. Same shoes, but everything else was different. Shirt, shorts, none of it mine. That's when the panic really hit. I stumbled out of the car and looked around, trying to get my bearings. I didn't recognize anything, no landmarks, no signs I could immediately place, just empty pavement and a row of closed stores. The car I'd been in, gone. I swear it was there 1 second, and when I turned back after scanning the lot, it wasn't. I don't know if I just didn't notice it leaving or if my brain was still that messed up, but it was gone. I started walking. It took me maybe 10 minutes to find a gas station on the main road. I must have looked insane walking in there, disoriented, wearing someone else's clothes, probably pale as hell. I asked the guy behind the counter if I could use his phone. He hesitated, but eventually handed it over. The first number I called was Tyler. He picked up on the second ring, and before I could even say anything, he just goes, "Where are you?" Same thing had happened to him. Different location, same situation. Woke up alone, missing everything, wearing clothes that weren't his. We stayed on the phone while I waited at the gas station. About 30 minutes later, he showed up in an Uber. We just stood there for a second, both trying to process it. Then we compared what little we remembered. Same girls, same drinks, same feeling right before everything went black. We called Derek next. He sounded confused at first, then concerned. Said he hadn't seen us since we left with them. He assumed we'd just gone back to the motel. We hadn't. Later, when I finally got access to my phone again, long story short, it was found 2 days later in a parking lot miles away, there were texts sent from me throughout the night. Normal texts, telling people I got home safe, saying I was just hanging out, even replying to messages in ways that sounded exactly like me. But I don't remember sending a single one. Neither did Tyler. We reported everything. Police took the statements, but I could tell they weren't fully convinced. No cameras, no clear suspects, no solid timeline. Just two guys who drank too much and couldn't remember their night. But I know the difference between being drunk and whatever that was. And here's the part that still messes with me. About a week later, Derek sent me a message. Said someone else who had been at that same event reached out to him privately. Same story. Met two girls, left the venue, woke up somewhere else with no memory and missing belongings. Different names this time, but the description? Exactly the same. I don't know what they were doing or why, and I don't think I want to.